Go! What's going on in Hot Atlanta? Live from Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 brings back the hottest hip-hop radio show live from K.L.P Entertainment and K.L.P Studios. Go! It's K.L.P Aftermath. Morning with your host, K.L.P Kennedy Lucas.
You know what it is? Put your hands up.
Tune in now on any audio platform.
Go.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Yeah, boy, howdy. Boy, howdy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the K.L.P Aftermath podcast presented by Our Heart Media. Yeah, buddy. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I do hope that everyone has enjoyed their weekend. It is a wonderful Monday, December 15th. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the jury, we hope that everyone has had an extraordinary good weekend. First and foremost, I've got to get this out the way. I text and I called my pops yesterday. But of course, it would be behoove of me to send out a very, very happy birthday to my pops. His birthday was yesterday, Sunday, but happy birthday to my dad. I am blessed and highly favored to have you as my dad. I'm sure he's watching the show, so I'm gonna look into the camera when I do this. Happy birthday, pops! Love you. I hope that your birthday was very, very prosperous, and I hope that you had a very fantastic, fun birthday. Or it could just be a birthday where he liked to chill. T and audience, I tell you something about. I say this about my dad, but my mom my mom's a little different. We take my mom out to eat, and she wants to do a lot. My dad, on the other hand, and I'm kind of like this too. For our birthdays, and I think my siblings are like this too. For our birthdays, yeah, we like to go out to eat and have a great time. But I don't really do all the extra stuff that people do on their birthdays. I don't. I like to be in the comforts of my own home. I like my PJs. I like enjoying my time. I like enjoying what I like to do when it comes down to it. So, it's just one of those things for birthdays. We like to just chill and have our moments, but everybody's a little different. I know when it comes to my birthday this coming year of 2026, I'll be turning 30. I'm going out the country. I'm going on vacation. That's my big birthday. I mean, 30 is a big number, right? So that's what I'm going to do for my birthday, T and audience. But like I say, happy birthday to my dad. May your day have been plentiful yesterday, Sunday, December 14th. All well wishes for birthdays. So very, very blessed and highly favored. I do want to start the show off with some topics and conversations. But I wanted to kind of give grace and give thanks. And this is part of with this show. I like to, of course, talk about, topics and stuff because we're going to talk about some stuff. Obviously, we are. But on this show, I do like to be personable. If you guys know, and this is just what does my show really, really well is, we have topics of conversation, but we also love to, have fun and have a great, deep conversation. I wanted to give thanks, and I'm very gracefulness and gracious. I've been quite happy the last few weeks. I have. So yesterday, the 14th. Now, sadly, I couldn't celebrate my dad's birthday. He's in Tampa. He's in Florida. We're here in Atlanta. So I ended up going to church every Sunday. Obviously, I go to church. I have a great time when I go to church. But the service yesterday was very, very good. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of got me thinking of how grateful that I am this year. If you guys, and there's a lot of things you guys didn't know about 2025. This year has been very difficult. Not in the retrospect of me being sad about something or depressed about something. That's not the case. But 2025 has been difficult for a lot of people. But I'm going to talk about my difficultiness of 2025. This year it's been difficult. Whether it's I don't want to say money wise because we've been okay money wise, but I had to really reevaluate a lot of things. Right, I had to reevaluate myself as a man. I had to reevaluate myself in a lot of ways as a man of God. I had to reevaluate myself in the job space, the job market, the different positions. I had to reevaluate myself with materialistic things. Um, and I think it taught me a valuable lesson of staying humble. It taught me a lot of things to never take things for granted. Um, the beginning of the year was interesting, right? You know, it was a lot of work that went into it. We were filming, and throughout the year, we filmed my new documentary, Dear Isaiah. By the way, that's coming very soon to streaming platforms. That movie has passed QC, by the way. If you guys don't know what QC is, QC is quality control. So any film that you do and you have it for submission, whether you're trying to pitch it to Netflix or Max or Prime or any streaming service, it has to pass QC. It has to be of quality and great quality control for it to be streamed on that specific network. And if your film basically you can't make a shitty movie. I mean, that's basically what it is. If the quality's not there, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna be in streaming networks. So it's always big. It's important to make sure your film is in quality control because if your film fails QC, then you have to go back to the drawing board, and that costs a lot of money to go back to the drawing board and um to redo the movie. So I'm very, very blessed for that. It's been a full year and some change on working on that documentary. A lot of work went into that. So I'm very happy and humbled that that movie has passed QC. Um, so I'm reevaluating a lot of myself in this year, 2025. The movie's being done. Um, Mid 2025, I was kind of stuck. I was kind of stuck on what I wanted to do as a career. As you guys know, with K.L.P Entertainment Filmworks, we podcast. We do a lot of podcasting. Believe it or not, we film movies. We do music. Right, those things are good. But for all of my producers and writers here at K.L.P Entertainment, we all have a side hustle. I'm humbled to say K.L.P Entertainment Filmworks does make some good income, but it doesn't make millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. It don't. We don't. Not yet anyway. We're manifesting. We're independent. So I kind of felt stuck, right? I kind of felt stuck on what I wanted to do in my alignment. And, I would do the vendorship for GGC Athletics. Shout out to them for sure. I always got to give a shout out to them. And then I just, I kind of felt in my mold that I didn't know, again, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And, a lot of things has happened, businesses, K.L.P Entertainment Film Works and other businesses that I'm a part of, we have some ups and downs. We do. We have a lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of ups now, but we had a lot of downs this year. There's a lot of stressful moments that you guys don't see in front of the camera. Obviously, there's a lot of behind the scenes of things that, didn't work the way we wanted to. And I'll be honest with you guys. I am so proud of Eden Prime, codename Alice, and the Lucas Brothers Pictures. Those two movies that came out this year. But those movies, even though they're on streaming networks of still today, of course, shout out to Relay. Relay is by Film Hub. They launched a new streaming services. The lowest again is $5 a month, but it's like the Netflix for independent filmmakers. I love it. All of my movies are on that platform. Very, very humble, and with Dear Isaiah, is going to be on that network too. So Relay, I'm very, very proud of that streaming networks. Again, that is the the Netflix for independent filmmakers like myself. There's millions upon millions of independent filmmakers out there in the world that are still making movies today, right? And it's just, independence is where it's at, because if you look at it too, and I'm not trying to get off the sidetrack, T, but watching the Game Awards really got me understanding. A lot of the independent people, we end up winning the most. I feel right when independent filmmakers and independent video game developers, they develop some really dope games that won some game awards, right? The independent filmmakers, their movies sometimes be better than the big boxes office Hollywood movies that they dump hundreds of millions of dollars into their project, and then their movies are mid. But for us, we dump about $40,000 to $50,000 in our independent films. I dump a little more for my movies, but besides the point. And we those movies be the best. So again, shout out to the indies. I'm always going to rep the independent filmmakers because I am an independent filmmaker myself. But with those movies we made, good movies, but they weren't the best, right? That was the low point. Then I had to realize when we lost money on those movies and, things are changing, I had to reevaluate myself. There's some things I've got rid of. I've learned to stay humble with materialistic things. At the beginning of last year, I ended up getting a very nice car, BMW, right? And I had to trade it in. I had to swap it out because things got expensive, right? Those interest rates for those were high. I don't recommend people paying a high APR rate for a car. And I had to switch some things up. So that was another, I don't want to say that was a low point, but that was another, I can't even say it was a low point because the car I got now is awesome. It's really, really good. I'm so blessed for that car. So I don't want to say that was a low point, but that was a change this year. So there's a lot of things that, had some ups and had some downs. At the end of this year, though, I am blessed to say, I've renewed my faith in God. Obviously, for the past few years, I've been renewing my faith with God, but I think this year allowed me to be a little bit different and to super renew it. This year, I joined a new church. So shout out to Change Church, and I volunteer for them on time to time, right? I'm doing a lot of things that I feel like that are my purpose. And obviously, if you guys know, I work a little bit in IT, right, at GGC. So I'm finding my purpose. I'm finding my thing, my groove. I developed a good documentary. My workout fitness has been incredible this time around. Let's say, I think I talk about the gym stuff a lot. But I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life now than I was, let's say, the last 2 years, right? I became more disciplined. I became the moment where my eating habits have changed. My workout regimen has changed. After a long day in the office, around 5, 6 o'clock, I'm heading to the gym, right? That discipline that I'm having, and I'm meeting so many good people. I had a lot of gym crushes, that I had to let go. There's quite a few gym crushes I've had. And then there was this one gym crush that I really had that I really liked. She was really cute. And I see her from time to time. I hope that she's well. Honestly, I really do. You learn to get over people. Again, I'm not talking about relationships in this episode. I'm over that old flame, that old gym crush. But I hope she's well. That's all I can say. I hope that she's doing well. I hope that things are panning out. Hopefully she is prosperous in her life as well. Maybe we'll talk again one day and maybe we'll have a restart. But for now, I'm learning to be in myself. And within myself, I learned to be faithful. I learned to be obedient. And yesterday at church got me thinking about my future. 2026 is going to be awesome. It got me thinking about just a lot of, I'm figuring, and again, for my fellas, and I don't gentrify on our show, but I got to speak to my fellas, my man of God. You're not going to always have everything figured out. I am 29. I'm heading 30. May 12th, 2026, I will be turning the age of 30. I still don't have a lot figured out. Right? I think a lot of people think I do when I post things on social media, if I'm doing that. Yes, I do it for content, sure. But, gentlemen, you're not going to have everything figured out. You're not. Right? I'm going to still make some mistakes. Right? I think I can name you some of the mistakes. My filming, the beginning of the year when I didn't give my 100%, that was a mistake. Right? My BMW that I have, great car. I think that might have been a mistake, right? A lot of career choices that before that I took, that was a mistake. And now I'm realizing that I'm switching that up. That old gym crush that I met and followed her on Instagram mistakenly, that was a mistake, right? I'm going to make mistakes in my lifetime. And I've got plenty more mistakes to make. I do. I'm human. But I am learning that it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to be within yourself, right? There's something the choir from Change yesterday at yesterday's service. I don't know what they were on. Pastor Daniels, shout out to Pastor Daniels if you're somehow watching this episode. I don't know what came over you in service yesterday, but you did a very fine service yesterday. I don't know what it was. It might have been the holiday cheers. It might have been the holiday season. But boy, howdy, Pastor Daniels gave a good word yesterday. It gave me a good word yesterday. The choir, the music was great yesterday. I say this when I went to 180 Nights that one night. And I will say this to my men of God. And for my woman of God too. I don't gentrify. Or my they of God, if you identify or they them. We don't gentrify. But human beings out there who go to church and cry, never be afraid to cry. Now, I say I don't gentrify T, but I got to speak to my fellas because I got growing up, growing up, my dad say that men are not supposed to cry. The reason why my dad has done that because his dad has told him that before his dad passed away, right? In some form or fashion. But I got to say to my men out there in the world, if you do go to church and you have a moment to where you're about to shed a tear, do not be afraid to cry in church, my men. I think I am in my most vulnerable and my most sensitive side. And this is the one thing I might say on a date, it might turn some of these ladies off. I get it. Sure. But I'm sensitive. I am sensitive. I'm fragile. My heart, I wear my heart on my sleeve. If something ain't right, if it don't feel right, it don't feel right in my soul. Right? If I'm sad about something, really sad about something, I'm going to reflect. But if something's super sad, I'm going to cry. Right? I'm going to cry about something that I'm very passionate about. And yesterday, boy howdy, I shed a tear. It was the last song in worship. And that song, for some reason, everybody at that church yesterday in yesterday morning service was crying. And they were passing tissues left and right like it was candy. I was one of those people because it really got to me. And it was very interesting because, to my left was a mom and her son. She cried. And then to my right was a beautiful girl, right? Didn't know her. I wasn't trying to flirt with her, trying to talk to her because I say this, when you go to church, gentlemen and ladies, church is not a speed dating event. You don't go to church to find your soulmate. You go to church to worship him. Yes, I put on a suit. Right? I put on the suit, and I say this to my fellows too, because I'm a bit of a fashion person too. When I go to church, I'm not wearing blue jeans and a jersey. Some of the guys at the church do that. They don't have a dress code. But I'm a little old-fashioned when going to church. I'm going to wear a suit. Not like a whole tuxedo. Probably not a tuxedo. But I'm going to rock a button up like this, slacks, black or khakis, right? And a sports coat over it, right? That's just my attire. I'm old school with that. I think everybody should dress really casket sharp when they go to church. I really do think so because that is a form of worship. That is a form of respect. Not to say that, fellas, if you wear blue jeans at church, because some churches don't care about that kind of thing. But for me, I'm going to rock a suit if I'm going to a church event. Sorry. Even if I'm volunteering on production, I'm wearing a suit because that's just kind of a respectful thing, in my opinion. But a lot of people don't rock it. And you look sharp and you look handsome when you do it. But like I was saying, you don't go to church for speed dating. You don't go to church to find your girl, your woman of God, or your man of God. For my ladies, you go to church to worship Him. But to my right was a very cute girl, chocolate skin too. Chocolate skin. People think folks think that I only like white girls, and I like white girls. I really do, but I like black girls too, and I love my dark chocolates. So I don't care about the skin type as long as you have a beautiful personality. That's what I like. But dark chocolate to my right, a girl. Her outfit was very nice. Looked cozy. She was wearing kind of like a sweater combo thing. Looked nice, but where I'm going with this is I didn't feel afraid to cry in front of a lady because she was crying too. When you cry at church and you feel in the spirit, that's the presence of God. He's there. He's with you, right? When you're cheering unexpectedly and uncontrollably, and when you're crying, now I wasn't like, at church, no, but I was, tears was coming down. I was smiling while I was crying because those were tears of joy. And the reason why I say that and I'm bringing that stuff up is because I have been very happy lately. I've been happy with my health. I've been happy with my sleep habits, my eating habits, podcasting, right? This show and me and Evelyn, what had happened was that show is booming. I've been so blessed with that. And, we pray and we give thanks for not materialistic things that you might get for Christmas, but for family. I'm very excited that me and my family, we're going to be spending time together north of here in Atlanta, at another venue, another place. We're going to spend about 3 days out there to celebrate Christmas and my mom's birthday. So I'm happy about that. I am happy about the new toys I did get early. Shout out to my mama. I wanted to give her a shout out on this podcast. I didn't, because I posted my new camera on my story. I things like that I don't post on my feed because it's not a lot. It's not like a ha hee hee. Look what I got. No, but I know my mom is watching the show as well. I'm very thankful. She got me a wonderful new Canon camera for Christmas. That was my Christmas gift. Very, very special. Mom, I got something special for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is on the show, but I got something special for you for Christmas as well. So I'm thankful for those things. And I think my siblings are thankful for their gifts. I think this year, again, this is what I'm saying, 2025, it's been a great year for us, but it's been a hard year, right? I think a lot of my brothers and sisters, my siblings, they say, hey, we only want this one thing and that's it, right? Because we're all adults and we have all the things we need, right? Christmas gifts are great, but we have everything that we need. We don't always get what we want sometimes in this lifetime, but we have what we need, and everybody is grateful for that. So it's always a humbling heart. And I'm going to move on to topics of conversation, but I felt it in my spirit to talk about that before we get to it on this show. I've just been very, very happy lately, and I hope my happiness continues with a lot of great things. I got to send a shout out to GGC. Shout out to the graduates. GGC graduates, if you graduated this past Friday, congratulations to you for the fall of 2025. I won't dabble too much in that because I work within the institution and I am not obligated to talk about my experiences and what we programmed as a technician and as an IT for GGC, because this show is not sponsored by them, so I can't go into further detail. But I do want to say congratulations to my fellow graduates of GGC. You are now part of the Grizzly Pride and part of the Grizzly Alumni Association. If you want to join the association, do that, but you're now part of that as well. So let's get to it. Happiness is all around. I've got to talk about this topic of conversation first and foremost. And I'm smelling good too, T. I'm smelling myself a little bit. Not in a weird way, guys, but I went, and this is kind of like the story before the topic, right? I like to tell stories before I get to it. So I went to Saturday. I tried something, so have I rocked cologne before? I have. I'm learning, and this is another part of that's probably making me happy, is I'm learning myself when it comes down to not only my body shape and losing weight. We all know that. But my hygiene and my looks. If you guys don't know, your boy's growing a beard and a mustache. I'm starting something new with my facial features. If you guys remember, y'all remember that big long beard I had before, maybe about 2 years ago? I think I want to have that back, but more tone, more better. And I'm growing this little mustache. And let me tell you why I'm doing this, because my face is scared, is clean. You know, I use what's it called? Skin cleanser, and I use every Jackman's product. That's the brand, but their beard oil and their beard butter and their beard face wash. And now I'm getting kind of, in my relationship, a lot of the ladies, they're starting to notice me a little bit. I got a little facial hair growing that make me look more of a man. I'm getting more swollen, getting the beard, haircut is staying tamed. Something's in there. I don't know what it is. Something's growing when it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen. But I do recommend it, guys. I think if you grow a beard, a lot of ladies love it. Some ladies like the shave look. I had the baby face shave look for years, back when I was working in these different type of positions, and I was the face of some stuff. Now I'm more relaxed. I think my current situation allows me to rock my natural state of my beard and mustache, and if they got a problem with it, I'm going to say, no, I can't shave because it's part of my religion. They cannot deny you if it's something, a beard, mustache, or a type of hairstyle. If it's part of your religion, ladies and gentlemen, they cannot get you in trouble, because that's a lawsuit. That's discrimination at the end of the day. So I went Saturday after the gym, and I wanted to tell you guys this is just an experience that I've had on Saturday. So I went in there after the gym, clang bang session, very, very good. Shout out to Crunch Snellville. Y'all know who y'all are. Love y'all. And have I rocked cologne before, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, I have. But I needed to upgrade my cologne. Now, I'll be honest. When I rock cologne, I rock the non-brand cologne. The third party, the over Amazon order, yes. But those haven't been smelling too good lately. So I said, okay, I need something that I can just have a nice smelling cologne where it's not too much, not overbearing, but to smell good. Now, let me tell y'all something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm speaking to my gentlemen, really, because but I'm speaking to the ladies too. Because the ladies rock perfume, man, we rock cologne, right? Rocking cologne, and I say this, don't rock cologne without taking a shower. Take a shower, wash your body off, scrub it. I say to a lot of people, and I got to speak because let me tell you, some fellas in the gym, they've been smelling a little rough lately. Guys, if you are showering, don't use your hand to wash your body in the shower. Have a washcloth, a rag. Where I'm from, we say rag, but some people say a washcloth. Use a washcloth when you take a shower. Scrub your legs, your body, and your business, your manhood. Scrub it, because it stinks. Now mine smell pretty good because I got in the shower and did my whole routine before coming to the studio. But wash your manhood because it stinks down there. Then, after the shower, then I'm putting on lotion. I'm putting on deodorant, body spray, facial cleanser, and then I'm doing my beard stuff. So the beard oil, the beard butter, beard oil spray, face wash, yes. And then I'm putting on my cologne. So reversing back, I went to shout out to Ulta Beauty. Now I was trying to figure out, okay, I need some good cologne. Where can I go and get some cologne where I can just go to the store and get it? I don't want to order from Amazon and have to wait. I want it now because I need it now. So I went up the road. There was an Ulta Beauty. Brand new one, right? In the Snellville area. Brand new one. And I remember Ulta Beauty because obviously I have two sisters and I have a mom. And my other sibling, they shop at either Ulta or Sephora too. So, I'm familiar with Ulta. I'm like, all right, let me sneak up in there because there's a Sephora that was next door, but I didn't think Sephora had what I need, so I went to Ulta. I pulled up. I was nervous. Okay, and I'm joking. This next thing I'm joking. It's not serious. I'm joking, but I'm pulling up to Ulta, and I said, "Ooh, there's a lot of ladies that are going in this store." Like as I'm pulling up, a lot of females are walking into Ulta Beauty. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I don't because as a man, I guess. I don't know. We don't go to we're told to not go to stores like, "Oh, that's a girl store. You need to go to Dick's Sporting Goods and GameStop." And but Ulta, that store is the only place that's going to have what I'm looking for. So, I walk up in there. I'm joking with every cashier, every female cashier. So when I feel, and I didn't feel uncomfortable, when I feel nervous about something, I make a joke to see if it sticks. I know it's corny. I got to joke about something when I'm nervous, not embarrassed, but when I'm nervous. So I was so nervous to go in here, seeing all these beautiful ladies picking out their makeup, their perfume, their eyelashes, their concealers, their foundation. A lot of people, y'all ask me right now, how do I know those terms? Obviously, I've got two sisters and a mom that I seen these things before, right? So I'm going in there. Beautiful ladies too. Beautiful ladies in there. So, and then I kind of got lost. One of the one of the workers at Ulta, she's like, "Hi, how can I help you? Can you finding everything you need?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for cologne for men. Do you got a men's section in here somewhere?" So she pointed, like, "Yes, we do. It's in the back there. It's in the corner." I'm like, "Okay, bet. Thank you." So I'm going, and this is where it got fun for me because this is my first time. Not first time wearing cologne, but first time buying a big boy, big brand cologne. Of course, I saw Versace, I saw Dior, I saw Gucci. I saw all of these big brands. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then the prices, fellas, cologne, you gonna pay for some cologne, right? I paid for mine. It was a premium price, but it got me smelling good. I smell great, smelling awesome today. I wore it yesterday at church. It smelled awesome. I'm gonna wear it every day I go to work. Right? I gotta smell good. So I'm looking at it. There was this one Versace. It was like the Versace cologne that was in the blue. Um, it was in the blue, and it smelled good for me. It wasn't overbearing. But this lady comes up. Shout out to her. I wish I had her name. Lady comes up. She says, "Oh, like, hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she was cute. I could tell she was a little bit older than me, but I'm like, I mean, I kind of like my older women too, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm like, "Hey, what up, babe?" I might be a little young, but hey, so she was telling me, and she, she asked me what kind of, cologne I was looking for. And I said, yeah, normally I would buy kind of off-brand cologne, but they haven't been smelling good lately. So I told her I need to be a big boy and buy some big boy cologne. So she let me smell for the Versace. It smelled good, but she put me on to another cologne. She said, but you know what's going to happen? What cologne that I think you should rock? That's gonna smell good all day, and it's gonna make you smell like real good, and like make the ladies holler. She pointed me to Hugo Boss's cologne. Had no idea Boss made cologne because I have the Boss carrying bag. I got a suitcase when I take to work that's from Boss. I got a book bag that's from Boss. Now I've got a carrying case and a water bottle from Boss because she said that if I purchase that specific cologne, I get the carrying bag and the tumbler from Boss as a gift to myself. So she was like, "So are you buying for someone?" Or I said, "No, I'm buying for myself." So she put me on the Boss cologne. I smelled it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the one I like because it's not overbearing. It smells really, 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 really good, and I get some gifts from it." So very, very good. And then, she was like, "Yeah, it's going," and she was like, "So you, and she was like, "Yeah, it's gonna make you, not, you got a girl?" I was like, "Nah." She was like, "Okay, so when you get a girl, she gonna love that one more." I'm like, "All right." So they put me on game for that at Ulta Beauty. I say all that to say because for my men too, don't be afraid to go to Ulta Beauty to buy what you need. I do recommend if you need to buy cologne. Now, some people buy the very expensive cologne and they got to get it ordered, right? It's a special made order. I'm not going to do that because I need my cologne right now. I'm not really an order guy. Like if there's a product that I can get right there and right there, I can just pay for it and take it home. I'd rather do that than just having to order something and then wait week or 2 weeks for it to get shipped, right? Paid for it, and I was happy. I got my tumbler, my water bottle, and my carry bag from Boss. Very, very good. And I say all that to say, fellas, don't be afraid to go to these stores, these beauty stores, whether it's Ulta or Sephora, because they carry what we need. And I don't think people really care that much about, oh, I'm a guy, so I can't go in the store, right? If it's your thing, fellas, if it's your thing that you need to go to Ulta Beauty for cologne, or again, we don't gentrify, but if you go to Ulta because you want to get some foundation, some makeup, by all means, right? That's what you like. That's what you like, right? I've seen stories that folks think that it's creepy that guys. Now, obviously I personally don't do this, but I don't gentrify. I don't judge. Some dudes don't like boy underwear. Some dudes like panties. Dudes want to rock panties, right? Some dudes go to Victoria's Secret or Pink to buy their undergarments. I don't judge. Now with me, I'll tell you, I wear boxer briefs, right? I buy the Hanes, I buy the Fruit Looms. Underwear is underwear, right? I do buy some expensive underwear too because of the fabric and because of it has to feel right. You can't buy cheap underwear. You got to be careful because it might itch. It's the same thing with tissue. I don't buy cheap tissue. I buy dude wipes because it's just my bottom's a little tender nowadays. So I need something better to cleanse myself. But I say all that to say it's okay to have good hygiene, fellas. If you take a shower, put cologne on, put deodorant on, keep yourself clean. My car, I keep clean every day. My house, I keep. It doesn't make you gay, right? And even if you are, we don't judge. It's okay. Now, I'm straight, but I'm a clean freak. I like to be clean. I like to have a good hygiene, right? I like my Johnson to smell like flowers, and it has to smell good, and that's where that cologne comes in, right? When you stepping out at church or at work or in a venue, at a space, at an event, you want to smell good. I do recommend people watch their hygiene at the gym because some of y'all stink, right? I get it. We sweating. If you sweating, you sweating. Y'all can't hide my sweat. But if you smell good and you sweating, you have a good hygiene. You don't smell like shit in the gym. Now, for me personally, every time I go to the gym, I got to take a shower before I go to the gym. And then when I get done from the gym, I'm back in the shower. I'll pay an extra in my water bill because hygiene is the most important. That's just how it is. Now, speaking of water and hygiene, I can't say this is a new video game because it's not new. It's not new. And I normally would have our buttons, our buttons. We're not going to use our buttons anymore because one episode got flagged for some reason because I used the buttons and they flagged the buttons. So we can't use the buttons anymore, which is just strange. Except for if it was custom made. Now the buttons I've created, they're custom made, but I use some sound effects from other stuff. It's different. Like if you have what happened was button, we built that. We paid for that. So that's why we use that. But besides the point, new video game is, kind of out. I can't even say it's new. It's new to me because this is the game that I haven't played since 2023. 2023. That game, I haven't played it since then. But this new update from, of course, Avatar. Shout out to Avatar. Avatar Fire and Ash comes out. James Cameron. Big movie for James Cameron, Avatar. Of course, I saw the first one way back when. It was good. And then the second one was very fantastic. Didn't see that one in theaters, but Avatar Way of the Water was kind of their launch for HBO Max because HBO Max was launching and Way of the Water came out. So, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. So that game came out 2023, so about 2 years ago. And it was a first-person experience. You get to play, what's his name, Navi, or a Navi, for the Avatar game. So as your first person as in the Avatar world in Pandora, and it was okay. The first person concept I get, storyline was good, it was cool. But it didn't intrigue me enough to continue on with it. We put it down, and obviously from after 2023, a lot of other great games came out, and we kind of put that on the shelf. But a few days ago, the update came out to where now you can play in third person. I give an air horn for that one because everybody on Twitter and everybody on social media, we all saying the same thing. Why the hell they did not make this third party game from the get-go? I think had they made this game third party when it first came out, the game probably would have been better. I gotta say it. It probably would have been better off if it had a moment to where it was a third party kind of concept. I understand that, if they're catering to a certain audience, they cater to a certain thing. I get it. But I played this free update, which first of all, air horn for that. The reason why there's another one, because it was free. Games today, when they're updating a big update, sometimes they charge you for it. Like a $10 upgrade. You pay $10 upgrade so that way you can get this game upgraded to the third party concept. The games, they said, nope, this update will be for free. Good promotion because you got a new movie coming out in a couple days, right? I love this third party concept. Now, have I finished the full game of third party? No, because it just came out. But I like this third party concept of this Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, the third person update. I think they should have done this from the get-go because I think it allows the game to play and run a little bit smoother, in my opinion. It allows us to be with throwing the bow or having a gun as your weapon. It just flows better in this game for third party. And that's why I think this thing works. And obviously they've got a whole tons of DLC that comes out. Now those DLCs, even though those DLCs are about like what, $12 $12, $13 a pop, not bad for the expansion of it. Will I buy these expansion packs for this game? Probably not. But that's not bad. It's really not bad. If you all things, because if you are a diehard Avatar fan, you really love Frontiers of Pandora, it might be worth it for you. I really do like this concept. I really do like this third party feel when it comes down to these type of games. I think the game studio honestly should have done this from the get-go, but better late than never, I guess. It works. I think they got a lot of traction for Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora. I think they've got a lot of traction now from the game because it works and people are. When the update came out and everybody's playing it and everybody saw footage, everybody on Twitter's like, okay, now I'm gonna buy this game. Now I'm intrigued into this game. I know this game came out 2 years ago. Now I'm interested, and it works. Now I'm gonna pick this up. It works. I'm very humble about it. I really love how the way games are right now. Of course, Red Dead Redemption #1 gets a update. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking because I'm a big Red Dead guy. That update for PlayStation 5 for Red Dead is $50 a pop. I think I might swing that because I do want to see how that looks. I'm a huge Red Dead fan, and it just kind of gives you something else to play. #1 and #2. We're getting that before we got GTA 6, right? So shout out to the gaming community. I do slightly want to talk about Metroid Beyond, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, if I didn't do a review already. First and foremost, I don't care what people say. People didn't like it. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, people didn't like it. I loved it. And I'm a Nintendo guy. I'm not just for shits and giggles just saying this game is awesome because I just can. No. I like Metroid Prime 4. I do. I like the 4K resolution of this game. I like the graphic style of this game. I like all the different types of mechanics in this game. I do like it that, and people say they're babying us through this game. Maybe I need to be babied, right? If you are babied through, you feel like you're being handed and babied through this game, set your game on difficulty, I guess. I like the storytelling of this game. I like the shooting, first-person shooting. I don't really mind the companions. Do they get annoying? Kind of, but I don't mind it. I don't. I like the bike, but I don't really care too much about the desert area of riding Viola in the Soul Valley. I do understand that. I don't care too much about it. I think if we didn't have that, I think this game would have been honestly a little bit better off. But I don't mind it too much. I just don't care too much for it. Like, I don't spend a whole lot of time in Soul Valley. I don't. I like the sci-fi-ness of this. I like scanning. I like the psychic abilities. I like the little details that they do when you press the minus button to see where you're at. Samus's reflection of her body, of her face, kind of shims in. That's a nice touch. They did that in the Metroid Prime remastered version. They did that. That was just a nice little touch. I'm here to say that this game is good. I like the shooting style. I like the different abilities. I like the storytelling. I do. I think the graphically it looks better. I think I need to see about what kind of TV I need to get. Now, in my game room, or game room / office, I do have a 4K TV. But sometimes I feel like the controls are a little bit off. So I play that game mostly in handheld because it just flows better. You can control Samus a little bit better. There's no drag or delay. I think I'm going to stick to the handheld version. Hell, I mean, the Switch and Switch 2 is a handheld console. So it's meant to be played handheld anyway. You can plug it up to a TV if you need to for the extraness. But, I mean, the purpose of Switch and Switch 2 is to play handheld. This game's good. I don't care what people say because a lot of people been giving it some hate. Some people gave it some good strides. Obviously, yeah, it just came out. So, yeah, we're not going to see it at the Game Awards, this past Game Awards. We're probably going to see it next year. We're not going to see it this year because it just came out. But I'm very, very excited for that. Metroid Prime 4, it's great. I just got it. It's great. It's good. All right, so speaking of what's good, and this is the main event for the show here today, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the jury, first and foremost, to WWE, obviously, I caught Saturday night's main event, John Cena's final match event in Washington, D.C., and here's my thoughts. Here are my thoughts about the whole spectrum of the event. Now, I tweeted about it. I hope Nick Khan and Paul Triple H Levesque understands. Hear me when I say this on this podcast episode. That your new talent, it's where it's at. I was blown away with the first 3 matches. Right? Because they highlighted new, and I just choked up because they highlighted newcomers who are so extremely talented that they are here for WWE and they're here to stay. They've got something to prove. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's what I'm talking about. The first match. Obafemi, NXT champion, versus Cody Rhodes, champion, WWE champion. Obafemi, character. I like how he, when he walks, it makes me laugh every time. he can keep up. He's a heavy hitter. He's a heavyweight. I see him WWE heavyweight champion one day. Maybe, hopefully soon. I see it. Kid from Nigeria, trying to make a name for himself, trying to get into that. Hell, I'll say it to you. He's black, so obviously I'm a root for that. Because me and Triple H, I don't know him personally. I love Triple H, but I ain't see eye to eye when he said that shit about he don't see color, he see talent. No, we need more black folks on main roster. Lash Legends came up great. We need more. Oba Fenning, it's time. It's time for him to be on main roster. It's time. Because he can sell the character. He can hang with the big boys. He hung with Cody Rhodes. He hung with Drew McIntyre because they interfered. Because there was no that match. None of them won. It was a disc. Well, it was. I guess it was kind of the DQ on OB because Drew McIntyre came out and attacked Cody Rhodes. But we call that a draw because excuse me, OB Fenning didn't ask for Drew McIntyre's help. So it's part of the storyline. But OB Fenning, he can hang with the big boys. He is a character. He's a heavy hitter. That match had a lot of old shit moments. Cody Rhodes is still talented. I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes. He's from Atlanta. But Oba Fenning whipped his ass last night. He did. There's a difference between an ass whooping and a close match. That was an ass whooping. Cody Rhodes did some moves, right? Oba Fenning dominated majority of that match. Blew me away. Next match. Bayley, to which I don't really care for. I think Bayley, as a stardom, as a superstar, I think she's dying off. I think she's talented, but I think her likeness is just not there anymore. Like when she first came out, everybody loved Bayley. Bayley, I'm sorry, you ain't got it no more. Maybe you need to reinvent your character. Something got to switch it up. I'm not a fan of Bayley anymore, right? I think her character's boring. I think the crazy that she's crazy, that's boring, is played out. She's done that before. It's played out. Been there, done that, right? She goes against Sol Ruka. Fine ass Sol Ruka, too. I ain't trying to objectify women, but she fine. Sol Ruka can hang with the big girls. Sol Ruka's doing all these kind of cartwheels and flips from the rope and from the mat and from the turnbuckle. Talent. Not many women superstars can do that today. You saw Eve Torres and Trish Stratus. They couldn't do that shit back in their prime. Right? But you got Sol Ruka, who is doing cartwheels and giving us a good show. Tearing Bayley's ass up. Whipping her ass in this match. I like how she do this thing too. That's gnarly. Sol Ruka can hang with the big girls. Right? She's doing all these high flying moves. That one move I like, she did kind of a black backflip and then back over the rope to hit Bayley. What women's superstar can do that right now? Besides Sol Ruka. Now, respect to Trish Stratus and Eve Torres, right? They're, respect. They probably can't do that shit. No. Sol Ruka, she's different. Her mind is different. Her athleticism is different. Her endurance, that's a different breed right there. To where you have the crowd saying, holy shit. Right? She won her match. Of course, obviously, all forum paid homage to John Cena. Dope. The next match. Oh, this next match. Even though they lost, fire. Firecracker from Javon Evans and Leon Slater. They go against Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, the tag team championships. They try to win the belt. Obviously, AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, they're on a hot tour right now. They're not going to lose their match. I get it. They're dope. These two young men, age of 21. So I can say young because I'm 29 and they're 21. So I'm way older than them. But these two young men I've always been a John Evans fan. Man, that boy is bouncy. I've been a fan of Javon Evans. Leon Slater, I'm starting to understand him a little bit more. I don't really watch TNA that much like that because I just don't have the time to. But boy howdy, these two young men, they start the match off right. They're bouncing all over the place. You would think that there's like firecrackers going through from the ring, fire like pyro going through. They're jumping all over these guys, doing these moves, doing these high kicks and whatnot. They can hang. Now, even though the Young Bucks, so you're not gonna win your match on this big card with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, probably not. But this proves that the young talent, the new talent, the creative talent, they can hang. And I tweeted about it. WWE, Nick Khan, Triple H. This is the type of booking we want to see. We don't want to see the bullshit anymore. We want to see young talent that can go into the ring and give us something. Hell, Joe Hendry was on the show, and that was like a little pop because Miz came out. Miz got his ass kicked by Joe Hendry. Shout out to Miz. I met him personally. Very, very cool to meet him. The Miz is actually a cool guy to meet, honestly. So they had to do a pop in homage to John Cena. So John Hendry, Miz had this bottle. R-Truth comes out. John Hendry comes out of nowhere. Good pop, right? It goes to show you that these young talents can hang T an audience. Triple H, Nick Khan, WWE, I'm talking to y'all now. Because I applied to work for them on the video crew. I didn't get hired. But now I can say that now. This is the booking y'all need. This is what y'all need. Let's continue this train. Because let me tell you, if WWE booked the way they did these first 3 matches, they'll be on fire. If they booked the way they did for the first 3 matches, Royal Rumble is going to be good. If they book it the way they did, WrestleMania, you might even have a better chance this year in Vegas for WrestleMania than you did last year. If they book young talent like they did last night or the other night. Because those 3 matches was great. And then you move on to John Cena's match. Obviously, John Cena's the main card. He's the final match. His final match. Okay. A lot of people didn't like the ending. Now, I understand Gunther, right? The ring general, I get it. He's a bad guy. He's a solidified villain. I'm glad that they're continuing on his role as a villain. That's his character, right? I'm here for that. Gunther is an old school style, right? The chokeholds, the heavy hitters. Gunther's old school with his wrestling, right? That's his craft. That's his lane. John Cena, it was great. Great run that John Cena did. Great matchup. I wasn't a fan of him getting choked out and smiling and saying, all right, I'm done. That was kind of weird. It was weird when I first saw it because he was just like, nah, I can't do this no more. It was weird for John Cena because John Cena, he just, the fans, they chanted bullshit. And a part of me want to say, I get the fans chant on the bullshit. I get it. But ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you why John Cena and WWE, they went that route. Because I kind of understand it. I understand that route. Because if you guys remember, John Cena's been all over the place this week, right? ESPN, the Chris Van Vliet show, the Pat McAfee show, right? He's been touring on these shows to kind of talk to Chris, Pat, and Stephen A. He's been on the press run. What I'm about to say next, hopefully y'all get it, because this is kind of where I think they're going with this, where John Cena was going with this. I don't think John Cena could ever lose to Gunther. I think John Cena could win against Gunther. I get it. 2 things. They're getting Gunther over. Personally, for me, I wanted LA Knight versus John Cena for the last match. I love Gunther, but I love LA Knight because LA Knight is still new and he needs to get over. I voted for LA Knight for John Cena's final match. But I understand Gunther because Gunther is still new, right? He's a solidified villain, and he needs to get over. Right? He lost through a tap out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. So, yeah, we're going to have to pull him over. Here's why John Cena tapped out. John Cena with Pat McAfee, Chris Van Vliet, and ESPN, and he's been on other shows too. Those are just the ones that I saw. John Cena says, I'm tired. I've done this for 23 years. I'm tired. Hence his retirement. He says on the Pat McAfee show, when I leave that arena Saturday, a few nights ago, I'm not coming back. A lot of superstars, they retire, they still come back. Goldberg retired, he's going to come back. Ric Flair been retired, he comes back, right? People who retire, they come back. I think I believe John Cena when he says, I ain't coming back. Another reason why I think he said, because honestly, I thought Triple H was going to announce that John Cena is now inducted into the 2026 Hall of Fame. They didn't do that. So John Cena said, I'll still be an ambassador, but I don't want nothing to do with production and in-ring career. I am done. Here's another part why John Cena tapped out. It was strange how he did it, but I get the logic. He tapped out because he said on the Pat McAfee show that once he's gone, he doesn't want people to continue to remember him. It's a nice thought to bring him up in conversation, but he does not want to be the pinnacle of everything wrestling. Oh, all we can do is talk about John Cena. That's what John Cena said on the Pat McAfee show. He says, when I retire, I want you guys to look forward to the next people that are in line. That's why that makes sense why he tapped. He says, hey, I can't do this more. I'm tapping now to Gunther of all, and Gunther's good, but Gunther of all super. I want you guys to forget me. Remember my legacy. Forget me and focus on what's next. That's why I think John Cena tapped and WWE went with that storyline. Because it's about moving forward now. When they say end of an era, John Cena mean it. It's the end of that era. Do not talk about me next year. We want y'all to focus on new talent in 2026. That's why John Cena tapped out. And that's why he smiled when he did it. Because he says, shit, I've done it. I got no more gas in me. I got no more pool in me. That's it. This is my peak. This is where, and that's kind of number 3. Everybody chants Super Cena, never give up, Super Cena, never give up. He says, hey, I'm old. I can't compete how I used to. You got it, big dog. I ain't got nothing for you. I got nothing left. I gave you all that I can. Right? He said it in it when he did this thing with it. He was like, he's tapped. I'm done. Those 3 things that I just mentioned just now. That's why it makes sense why John Cena tapped. Because John Cena could have easily won against Gunther. Easily the other night. Right? Easily. But that's why storyline, that's why they went that route. And John Cena said, hey, I agree. I'm tapped. I'm tapping out. Deuces. That's it. Finished. That's why it makes sense. I think it was a little bit awkward when the Superstars came out and Triple H was on the apron there and everybody was booing Triple H. I mean, Triple H was, and some people joke Triple H is a heel. Now, Triple H been a heel. Triple H's full career hasn't always been a good guy. Triple H's career, majority of it has been a villain, has been a heel. So it's his personality. I think Triple H was laughing because John Cena said, we might have screwed this up. Because people didn't like it, but see where this goes, right? That's why Triple H was laughing. It makes sense. From a business perspective and from John Cena, from all the shows that he's done, these talk shows he's done, he says that is the conclusion, that is the closure that you have. So going in 2026, you can speak of John Cena with his record for somebody's trying to cut a promo that they're trying to reach Sweet 17, but do not bring John Cena's name up. John Cena says, I want y'all to forget me and focus on the new, fresh talent that can hang. Like I just mentioned, Sol Ruka, Obafemi, Javon Evans, and Leon Slater, right? Focus on and John Hendry's in there too. Or Joe Hendry's in there too. Focus on that new talent. And that's what John Cena meant by that tap out to Gunther. Makes sense, guys. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Did it suck? Hell yeah, it did. Right? Because I didn't expect that. Like, whoa, shit. And they caught some fan reactions too. We were like, oh shit, really? But yeah. You got to focus. Gunther is in that list. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. Focus on that new talent. Get your mind out of John Cena, right? The childhood, it was a great childhood because John Cena, honestly, I knew John Cena from my childhood. Great childhood. It's time to move on. Time to move on to fresh and new. Keep it moving. That's what I get from that's what I understood from Tap Out. Like I say, WWE, you guys got to book it like that again because Saturday night's main event, the first 3 matches. I mean, John Cena Gunther match, it was like, because I knew what was happening. John Cena, after 23 damn years, he's still calling his spots loud as hell, not covering his face when he's trying to call a spot. He's going to make it known, hey, I need you to hit me right now, Gunther. Okay, we're going to go for this move right now. And I joke because John Cena, look, it was his last match. He don't care. He doesn't care. But besides the John Cena match, the first 3 matches were good. That's how we need to be booked, honestly. So shout out to WWE. Yes. Well, that's going to wrap it up on Monday's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We've got more podcasting from K.L.P Aftermath Podcast and a new episode of What Happened Was with me and Evelyn coming up this week. Stay tuned for that as well because that's going to be a great episode before we wrap up for Christmas time. And we've got this week, I think next week, I'll let y'all know for certain. Next week, I think we're not going to be doing any media because the next week after this coming week is Christmas week. Obviously, each year with K.L.P Entertainment Filmworks staff and producers, we take the week off to celebrate Christmas and have everyone be with loved ones. I'm going to be out of town as well, so I'll let y'all know if we switch that up, but just to get you guys ahead of that. But until then, we'll see you guys in the next episode podcast of K.L.P Aftermath presented by Our Heart Media. Until then, I say stay safe, stay swanky.